All right. So in the meantime, it's you and me, Doug.
All right.
We're calling this Aramaic Neophytes because we're new to the Aramaic language. Pretty simple. This is basically introductory sessions from basics of biblical Hebrew. I don't know what edition this is. It's 2011. I guess it hasn't had any revisions or whatever, but that's one we're doing. It says introductory sessions for biblical Aramaic using my old friend Pelt's basics of biblical Aramaic. And that's basically what we're doing. So let's move on. All right, so pronunciation, I want to go over that really quick. I'm going to be using the modern Hebrew pronunciation because, well, it's quicker and less problematic for an introduction to the language because we already know Hebrew, and that's the way that it's most sensible to quickly get an introduction to the language. Also, the Hebrew Bible, we already read the whole Bible in that accent, and so why not read the Aramaic portions, which are listed here in the same way of pronunciation, and the Jewish Aramaic, like the tefillot, the prayers, Talmudim, and Targumim, that Jews across the world basically read the same way that we read Hebrew. So since we're doing that, we may as well go ahead and do it. I'm kind of biased to the modern Hebrew pronunciation because it's where I live. We're not going to go over the alphabet because this textbook assumes that you already know Hebrew to a basic extent. We're just going to make some comparisons as to what's the same between Hebrew and Aramaic alphabets in the Bible and what's different. So the first thing that's the same is final forms. That's, you know that if there's a cough in the middle of a word, it looks like a little C, and if it's the end of a word, it extends down. Second pair we have here is mem. Okay, that's weird. So mem as a pair is the first one is the medial form, the second one is the final form. Same thing with nun, final form, pei, final form, tzadi, final form, no big deal. You're aware of Hebrew well enough. That's no problem. All right. Beged kefet letters. You've probably heard them called begad kefat. In Israel, we tend to call them beged kefet because beged is a word, garment. Mm-hmm. And since we have the segulet there, we just move on to the next one, beged kefet. These were originally doubled sounds. Ba, va, ga, ra, da, za, ka, cha, fa, fa, ta, tha. Now these ones are not doubled, but they're still written that way. These ones are not doubled, and these ones are not doubled. Just bet, kaf, and pay. We should change the name of the thing, but we don't. Basically because these are the ones that receive the dagesh reneh, which we already know. Weak. The weak dagesh, it doesn't double it, but it just makes it hard. Gutturals are the same as in Hebrew. They do not double. They don't take dagesh. And they also prefer composite shva. That is, except for resh, because resh is not a real guttural. Resh is a semi-guttural, meaning that it has one of the features that it rejects dagesh, but it doesn't have the other. It takes a vocal shva regular.
Could you comment on modern Hebrew and the pronunciation of the gutturals? I've heard some different things, perhaps based on whether you're in Israel or other parts of the world, especially for the ayin and the het.
Most speakers of the Hebrew pronounce these three basically the same. That is, they don't have a pronunciation. They're silent. If you're being proper, this is the glottal stop. It's a stop in the throat. This is h that we don't normally say, h. And this is ra in the throat, ra, which we don't normally say either. Because ayin is in the throat, and resh has taken over the position of the throat also. It used to be trilled on the tongue. So when ayin was guttural, like really strongly guttural, resh was pronounced as a trill, so they didn't, you wouldn't confuse them. You know, so you have the word, in Hebrew, the word er, we say er, it means awake, but it would have been pronounced like ayr, it's r. This is la, and this is ra. But both of the letters change their sound, and so this one just isn't pronounced. The standard Israeli pronunciation is not to pronounce the gutturals, except for chet. And then chet normally sounds like chaf. Originally, it didn't. They sounded different. Chet sounded like het. Het. It's in the throat. Het. And chaf is in the upper part of the throat. Het is down here, and chaf is up here. But now everyone basically pronounces them the same. Het, chaf. Yep. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So
Thanks.
there is a large lexicon that is shared between Hebrew and Aramaic with very little difference, if any. So melech is melech. Yom is yom. You know, there are a lot of words that are the same word. We have a list of vocabulary on page 5 that shows so many words that if they're not exactly the same, they are very close to the same. So Av is Av, Even is Even. Okay, Elah is different. That's like Eloah. Once we get through some of the common changes of what happens with vowels and consonants, then we can basically get a one-to-one comparison. It's really neat. So this can help a lot in memorization of vocabulary words, but at the same time, we need to be aware of amigos falsos, we used to call them in Spanish. That's false friends, it's false cognates. They're not real cognates. They might be cognates, but they mean different things. So the word ta'am in Hebrew, ta'am, means flavor in the Bible. But ta'am means decree. And they look like they would be the same word. They're both segolets. You would think they were the same, ta'am and ta'am. But they have a different meaning, and we need to be aware of the meaning when we're dealing with Aramaic. Kind of like when you know modern Hebrew, and then you read the Bible, and the words are the same words, but they have different meanings sometimes. You got to be aware of different meanings. Do that kind of thing. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at 6 rules that are in the book of how basically sounds were conveyed in Aramaic as opposed to how they were conveyed in Hebrew. I keep waiting for other people to sign in and just try. So in Hebrew we have the word zahav, gold. In Aramaic, dahav, zahav, dahav. Same word, little bit of difference. First of all, we notice that this has a long vowel in the first syllable, and this one is reduced. It's very, very common that for whatever reason, the first syllable in Aramaic is going to reduce where it's long in Hebrew. So if we think of the root that is shalom, sorry that I'm not using a pen, I'm just using my mouse. Okay, we think of the word that is shalom. In Aramaic, this kamatz is short and it's sh. And we find that the historic long vowel O in Hebrew is often long A in Aramaic. So shalom in Hebrew becomes shlam. Shlam. So we got that reduced first syllable. This is zavach. Zavach means he sacrificed. In Aramaic, devach. Devach. Where that zayin and the dalet have the same, like they represent the same thing. Same thing happens with tzadi in Hebrew that is represented with tet in Aramaic. So kites, summer in Aramaic is kite. We can kind of hear why that happens. Kites, kite. Especially if you think that if you remember that long ago the tet was an emphatic consonant. So it wasn't just kite, it was kite. Some kind of hard T. The word sul in Aramaic is tool. Sul and Tool. These are mountains. Okay. Conversely, tzadi may come into Aramaic as ayin. So eretz comes into Aramaic as ara. Ara. There's one verse in the Bible where instead of an ayin, it has a kuf, and it says arka. But it still means the land or the earth. Ara. This word goes through a double change. Basically, that tzadi to ayin change is the first thing. So if we think that we have ayin tzadi, it first changes to ayin ayin. Okay, ah, and then because these two ayins are ugly side by side, this one just changes to aleph, and we get instead ah. Ah means tree, just like in Hebrew etz. Kind of funny. Rule number 4. This is shin in Hebrew is often taf in Aramaic. So shor is tor, and this is where we get the word Taurus. Yay! Taurus went through Greek, Tauros. Tauros is tor.
Shekel and tekel.
Yes, tekel ufarsin. So yashav, he sat, is yativ. He dwelt, whatever he dwelt, he sat. Yativ, yashav, where the shin is represented with taf. We might think of like sheleg. You know sheleg in Hebrew?
I do not know that one yet.
Sheleg means snow, sheleg. In Aramaic, the shin is replaced with taf. It's still got the same letters, but instead it's tlug. Tlug. Sheleg becomes tlug. You know the word 3 is shalosh.
Ken.
Shalosh. So this is shalosh. I'm trying to make dots with the pen, with the mouse. That's shalosh. In Aramaic, both of the sheens are replaced, and you get like this. Tlat. Tlat. T-L-A-T. Tlat. We actually use this in Hebrew. In Hebrew, you will use prefixed forms of Aramaic numbers. So if something is disposable, like a disposable plate or a disposable fork, you use it one time, right? So you call it chad pa'ami. I'm sorry, this writes really slow.
That's okay. So hence the name of the group or the unit rather. So, yeah.
So chad pa'ami is disposable. It's one-time use.
One time.
And if you go to a movie and it's 3 dimensions, it's 3D, we call it tlat memad. Wow. Memad is dimension, and tlat memad is 3 dimension.
Is the prefix there or the suffix, is that like a gentilic type suffix too, like a first time thingy?
This one?
On the pa'am.
I wouldn't take it as gentilic so
I mean, not.
Huh?
And obviously, I don't mean in a nation, of course, but I mean, you know, of belonging to a certain class.
Yeah, it takes a noun and turns it into an adjective.
Okay.
Sometimes there are infixes that go with it, like we mentioned the word awake earlier, er. You can also say erani. Erani means alert, like someone who's awake. The erani is somebody who's but like with focus. If you have city, city, ironi means having to do with the city. It's like urban.
Okay.
Yeah, so the E ending means it turns a noun into an adjective. Not sure what happens in Aramaic yet. I'm going to be learning Aramaic together with you. So. Number 5 is the consonants aleph and hey that are sometimes used interchangeably. We like to think that the word no or not is spelled like this because in Hebrew that's lo, right? That's lo. In Aramaic it's la because the O from Hebrew to Aramaic it goes to ah. So lo is la. And we know nahar in Hebrew, river, hanahar. In Aramaic, the determination goes on the end of a word. So instead of hanahar, it's nahara, and the accent is on the end. Nahara is the river. The problem is that even like if you look at the King James Bible, hold on a second. you look at the 1611 edition of the King James Bible, and you open it up and you just start reading, you're going to see that the word we, again, we besought our Lord. The word we is spelled with 2 E's. But you go to another verse and you start reading, and it says we, and it's spelled with 1 E. It's inconsistent. You will find service spelled with a U, or service spelled with a V. You'll find sometimes that a word that has an S in it is written like with a little F character. It's an S sound. Or it's written with what we call S, our modern S. The old one was called soft S. It looked like a, yeah. So in Aramaic, they were inconsistent. And some texts are going to say la, and some are going to say la, where la has a hey on it, just like that. That's really weird. But this means the same thing. They both mean no. Nara, the river, and sometimes that even the alpha, the aleph that we're going to see as the determiner is going to turn into a hey. Nara. That seems really weird, but it's an inconsistent language. Not only that, if you have a quiescent aleph in the middle of a word, like resh, you know, rosh in Hebrew, rosh, head,
Yes, head.
in Aramaic is resh. And that aleph, not necessarily in this word, but that's an example of a quiescent aleph. The aleph likes to disappear when it's quiescent. That is a pain. And we are at rule number 6, which is that sin and samech are used interchangeably many times because they have the same sound. And when you're writing by sound, sometimes you just change letters out. So the name Artaxerxes, which is kind of important in the book of Ezra that we're going to get to later on, is Artaxerxes. And that S sound right there can be samech or it can be sin. Artaxerxes. Artaxerxes. That's his name. And the word for harp is sabcha. Excuse me, sabcha. Sabcha can be with sin or with the samech. That's our 6 rules. That's all of the 6 rules. Isn't that the most exciting lesson you've ever had in your life?
I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
I was figuring at this point we could just go over the vocabulary because this chapter has no activities. There are no, there's no translation, obviously, because we don't have translation. What we could do is cover up the Aramaic side and quiz each other if you've already gone over the vocabulary, and we can see what we know and what we don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll stop sharing and we'll just be able to talk to each other. Howdy. I might share the, I have opened up a Word document so I can just type. Sometimes at night I'm sitting here with that window open and somebody's downstairs smoking and it just kills me. And right now it's killing me. Yeah, and somebody's smoking. I'm gonna close the window. All right, so we are on section 1.7. It's page 5. Let's run through them real quick. We'll just take one after another, and if you see a problem, then we'll talk about it. So Av means father, obviously. What do you got in the second one?
Evan, stone.
Evan. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
You know, I know that in Hebrew, Evan is feminine. Evan Yakara, like a precious stone, Evan Yakara. I don't know its status in Aramaic. I would assume that it's feminine, but I don't know. The word Elah. Elah has a mapik hey at the end of it. This is a direct cognate. When you think of the O and the long A, that Eloah in Hebrew, Eloah is Elah in Aramaic. So the plural Eloah is Elohim, and the plural Elah is Elahim. It's the same thing. What we're going to see is Elahim when you make it determined. When you make it determined, you put the aleph on the end. It's Elahaya, Elahaya. That means Ha Elohim, Elahaya. We'll get into determination and that afterwards. I have spent some time in Aramaic, by the way. Obviously, I have to because we pray. We have prayer We also have certain prayers that we say many, many times that are in Aramaic, that we say a lot. Also, we have the Targum, which is the translation of the Bible from Hebrew into Aramaic, and it's the whole Bible. We've got a couple of versions of the Targum in Aramaic, and we also have the Talmud. Talmud is the classic biblical, not biblical commentary, but the commentary on Jewish life and Jewish law. And it's in, like, what would we say, apocryphated Aramaic. Like it assumes that you know the topic, and it uses Aramaic, but it puts it in little short phrases, short ways to refer to things. I did get a message from someone. Let's see. Oh, he said he thought it was on Friday. We need to be clearer about when we're having the lessons. I thought we were clear that we're doing it on Tuesdays.
I thought we were too.
All right. So the next word. The next word is direct cognate.
Yes, ama, cubit.
What is a cubit? What is ama?
A cubit is a measurement. I know many said it's about the length of a forearm, or maybe about 18 inches.
It's like this. Ama. The next is aryeh. Aryeh is a lion, same as in Hebrew. In Hebrew, you also have the plural in Hebrew is arayot. Arayot. I don't know what it would be in Aramaic. I wish that they would show us the plurals. That would make things a little easier.
Masculine noun. Do I have the vocab?
Yeah, do you have a vocabulary book at all? Like at least this one has it has an Aramaic section. Do you have that?
I had that one and I sold it because I'm using accordance a lot.
Okay, I've got Bible Works that I still run the old program.
Nice. Yeah, I missed out on that. But aryeh is like av, right? So you've got the masculine word that has, it looks like a feminine ending when you make it plural. Avot and ayot in Hebrew. So yeah, but I don't know about the Aramaic side yet either.
Let's see if they have a form for the plural in Aramaic in here.
Yeah,
but what's the next word?
See if I can find. The next word is bait. Bait, house, or temple.
I assume that I think it also goes construct as bait, like in Hebrew.
Right.
I think it does. Okay. Also, obviously, when we say Beit Adonai, it means the house of God. It means the temple. So that's why we say temple there. We're looking at aryeh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I never thought of looking it up this way on accordance, but I can go to the alphabetical index.
Wow, it's the plural determined. They only give us the determined form because probably it's the only form of the Bible. It says Aryavata. Aryavata. Kind of funny. It says it's in Daniel 6:8. And it looks feminine, but it's also masculine, I'm sure. Aryavata. Okay. Cool. The next word is gvar. Gvar is a singular noun. It's like Hebrew gever. Gever. Man, of course.
Yes. Din, judgment or justice. I'm trying to remember if that's an exact Hebrew word or if it's a cognate to Dan, or both.
No, this is a direct cognate. Dan would be a participle of the same root.
Okay.
Dat is technically, I think it comes from Persia. I think. And it was pulled into, I think it was used one time in the Hebrew of the Bible. But normally we understand it to mean religion, but I think in the original context it meant law.
And does Hebrew have, is it adut that has a similar meaning with a aleph?
That I'm not aware of.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to make that connection. I'll look that up later. Heichal, palace or temple. That's in
also,
Hebrew.
I'm sure this is also a loan word in Aramaic. Chayil. Chayil is directly in Hebrew. It's called the construct is chayil.
Okay. Chachim, wise or wise man, and in Hebrew that would be chacham, right?
Cham, but this one is hard in the middle, so it's Hakim. Hakim. That
Is
sounds
this
like
is this related, like the basketball player who took the Muslim name, Hakim
no,
Olajuwon? Yeah.
I was gonna say it sounds like a Muslim word, Hakim, but it's from Aramaic. It's old.
Yeah.
Just like in Hebrew, this one has a chataf kamatz, and it's chokhmah. Chokhmah, wisdom.
Chelem, dream. It would be chalom in Hebrew.
Yep. Chanukah, dedication. We use this word for the holiday Chanukah. As far as I know, it's a Hebrew word also. As far as I know.
Okay. Tal, do, also Hebrew word.
Yeah, yad, hand or power, and it's a Hebrew word.
Oh, I see. It gives gloss as a paw as well. Maybe I can go back in First Samuel 17, because whenever I read David and Goliath, I always want to say, "Deliver me from the paw of the bear and the paw of the lion, and now the paw of this Philistine." I guess I could do that maybe. Yom, day, same as Hebrew.
Kahen is like Kohen, priest. Kahen.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the O distinction.
Yes. Is that the Canaanite shift, or is that something different?
The Canaanite vowel shift. Yeah.
Okay, I knew it had to do with the O and the A. All right. Cole.
I think the way they say it is that Aramaic did not go through the Canaanite vowel shift. I think that's what they say. It was Hebrew changed. It was Hebrew, I guess, originally was also the A sound and became a O. That's what I understand.
Kol, all, every, or whole.
Mm-hmm. Silver is ksaf, like in Hebrew, kesef. Ksaf. Another like gevel, gval, kesef, ksaf. So, seems like that.
Ktav, or kta, I'm trying to say it. Ktav instead of katav. Writing, inscription, or document, or what is that? What would be in Hebrew?
Since it's a noun, we say this also in Hebrew.
Oh, okay.
Especially in modern Hebrew, where we say handwriting. This is writing. When we say handwriting, it's ktav yad. Ktav yad. Okay, levav from levav. Levav becomes levav. Heart.
Medina, province or city. I think that's also Hebrew, right?
We took it.
Or took it.
This is related directly to Arabic, Madina.
I wondered.
But we took it in modern Hebrew to mean not city, because we have enough words for city. In Aramaic, they have Kiryata, which is a town, and Jerusalem is called Kiryata, so it must be bigger than a small town. But we also have Kiryat in Hebrew. So we don't need another word for a town. We have Ir, Ayara, Kiryat, Far. We have enough words. So Medina we took to mean state. State. And so today we talk about Medinat Israel, the state of Israel. Mine was the next one. Milah. Milah with doubled lamed. This means a word. We use it in modern Hebrew also. Milah. Notice that without the doubled lamed, milah with you means circumcision. So they sound the same, but they are not the same.
Melech, king, same as Hebrew.
And we're also going to find that just in Hebrew, where the singular is built off of the malk root. Also in Aramaic, we're going to see a play between different root styles for the singular and for the plural. Because like in Hebrew, you've got melech that becomes malki, my king, malki, malko, his king. But in the plural, it's built off malach, and it becomes melachim and melachenu, our kings. Malkenu, our king, and melachenu, our kings. Yeah. You can take the next one too.
Mishkav, bed.
Yeah, it's a place where you shochet. Prophet, where in Hebrew it's Navi, we see again the reduced first syllable to Navi.
Nahar, stream or river, Nahar in
Yep.
Hebrew. Same
Yep.
as the Navi, Nahar.
Yep. And the next one, the same pattern, Sefer becomes Sfar.
Then Safar for scribe.
Yep. And we'll see here that that long first syllable is by analogy to Hebrew with the O. Sofer,
Sofer.
Safar. This is actually a participle. So
And Sofarim are scribes.
Sofrim.
Yeah,
So
Sofrim.
in
Yes.
Aramaic, the scribe is Safra. Safra. It's this like Ezra Safra, Ezra the scribe. Eved becomes Aved. Aved.
Avar, opposite or beyond.
The word that's used over and over, Avar Nahara. In Ezra, it says many times Avar Nahara, beyond the river. Yeah. Ain is the same as in Hebrew, exactly. Ain.
And that Avar, that's where the name Eber and Hebrew are related, right? Yes. Okay.
In Hebrew, it's Ever. Ever.
Yes.
So we like to say le'ever means to the other side, and me'ever is from the other side.
Okay. Ain, Olam, eternity forever is the comments there. Is this the O in Aramaic as well? Okay.
So Olam becomes Alam. I say becomes, but it's not really that it becomes. They the languages grew up together. We're drawing like connections between them, and I keep saying becomes, and that's not what I mean.
Well, this may be my rural Appalachian American upbringing, but it's hard sometimes to hear the difference in like the A in father and the O in bottle, or that kind of thing. But would this be would this be like the O in bottle sort of thing? Just a little,
I read it as ah.
Yeah. Okay.
Alam. It's a long A. So I don't know. The next one, Am, is the same as in Hebrew, people group.
Yep. Esav, plants, grass, herbage. That's Esiv in Hebrew, but Esav here.
Yeah. Again, it's like Sefer Sfar.
Does that word, is it synonymous sometimes with vegetable or anything? Does it necessarily imply something that is eaten in modern Hebrew, or
herb? Okay. You can eat it, of course. But vegetable is yerek.
Yeah. Okay. That's green too, right?
Yarok.
Okay.
Yarok is green and yerek is vegetable.
Okay.
Connected.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. So the next word is pecha. Pecha is a governor. I can't think of anything related to it anymore.
Okay. I just remember Haggai. I was reading it. Zerubbabel, who's the governor, had that word. Okay. Tselem, statue or image. And I know that's the word used in Genesis 1, creation of humanity. Tselem there, but Tselem here.
The next one's kind of weird because the Hebrew tzipor with O becomes patach, tzipar, instead of kamatz, tzipar. This is, in Hebrew, it's feminine. I would assume it is too. Tzipor is tzipor yafa.
Keren, horn. I think that's the same.
Same. Resh is like rosh, head. Can be both literal and figurative.
Regal, foot, regel in Hebrew.
Ruach is exactly the same. Wind or spirit, sorry.
She'ar, trying to remember. I know Sha'ar.
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay, Sha'ar. Rest or remainder.
There is, of course, the like remainder could also be she'erit. She'erit. And there's the verb in the nifal, nish'ar, and the hifir, hish'ir. Like to be left or to leave something. The next shalom, we already spoke about it. Shlam.
Shum instead of Shem. Shum for name.
It's cute because in Hebrew, shum means garlic.
You got a lot of word plays with those two consonants together. So. Oh, wow.
So heaven in Hebrew is shamayim, and in Aramaic we've got shmayin. Shmayin. I see it here, shmayin. You're going to see shmaya. Shmaya. It's determined most of the time. The sky, the heavens. Shmaya.
And Shen, tooth. That's the same, I believe.
And Shana is year in Hebrew, Shna in Aramaic.
Shna.
Do you want to cover the words and see?
Yeah.
What we're doing?
Yeah, that sounds good.
This is going to be difficult. I don't really have the Aramaic memorized. Okay, so I've got the first column covered. If you want to choose a word to ask, and I'll try to give you, and then I'll give you one.
All right. Av.
Oh, we don't want to start at the beginning.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be just randomly picked.
Yeah, choose English, and then we have to give the Aramaic.
Oh, choose. Okay, yes, understood now. Judgment or justice?
Oh, you would say that one, wouldn't you? I don't remember doing judgment or justice. I know, like
Can I give a hint?
I would assume mishpat. Is it the same?
Not this one. It's related to one of the tribes of Israel. Name.
Din.
Yes.
Din.
Yes.
Okay. Dedication. Like dedicating the altar.
Chanukah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Priest.
Priest. Kahen. Like Kohen.
Yes.
Strength or army.
Chayil.
Chayil. Yes.
Dream.
Chelem. It's chelem instead of chalom.
Yes.
Okay. Wisdom.
Chokmah.
It's the same. Good.
Word, matter, or affair.
Milah. Yeah, we know that.
I'm glad I asked you that one because I might not have got that one.
How about man? Like man as opposed to woman.
Gever.
Gvar. Gvar.
Gevar. Yes. Okay. Gevar. Yes. Not Gever and not Gever, but Gevar. Okay, I see. Palace or temple.
Echal. Like in Hebrew. Let's see. Heart.
Lev, Levav. Levav. Okay, yeah, I didn't have the Aramaic down. So not Levav, but Levav. Okay. Cubit.
Amma. Okay, I'm
Yes.
gonna give you a hard one. Wise person, a wise, a sage.
Chachim.
Hakim. The dagesh in the kaf. Great. Let's move to the second column.
Hakim. Or Hakim. Yes. Okay.
Hakim Abdul-Jabbar.
All right. Foot.
Regal. Instead of regel, regal.
Yes.
Book.
Book. Sfar.
When it's determined, it's sifra. Sifra. It's got the same roots as in Hebrew. Okay. Pick me one.
I.
Ein. Eternity or forever.
Alam.
Alam. Great.
Tooth.
Shen. People, nation.
Am.
I'm waiting for yours.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking two different places, so I was waiting for the verbal cue. I'm sorry. Opposite or beyond?
Avar. Avar now, plants or herb.
Sav.
Asav. Yeah.
Sav. Yeah, I gotta get the little A sound with that composite schwa, don't I? So yeah, a sav. Let's see. Horn of an animal or musical instrument.
Keren. How about a governor?
I'm not going to get the vowels right, I don't think, but petach.
Pecha.
Pecha, not petach. Yeah,
I know
pecha.
it's a little
Yes,
one.
yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think we got it. Next week is vowels, and looking at it feels so silly because vowels are the same as they are in Hebrew. So what's the point of dividing consonants and vowels into two chapters for people who already know?
I don't know, but I guess it would be a good chance to talk about the idiosyncratic pronunciation. So, I don't know where everybody else will be coming from in the group. So
Yeah, once we get more people coming. And it's a good time to talk about the idiosyncrasies of the authors, or the author. I think it's very odd indeed that he leaves translation exercises until chapter 6. Everything that he has until chapter 6 is like, tell me what rule this is. Make what kind of form is this? It's very odd for exercises.
yeah.
The other book that we were thinking that we're keeping around, do you
Green.
have that one, the introduction?
I don't have it yet. It's on my wish list. So.
It from chapter 1. Let's look at it. That's the introduction. Here is introduction, the first section. This is Ezra 4:8-11. Ezra 4:8-11. There's the Aramaic text. Underneath it are some translation notes. And you're supposed to translate in the first chapter from Aramaic into English from the Bible, and sentences at the bottom and in the next page. First chapter. Well, it says chapter 4 there, but it's very much in the beginning. Like, I think, let's see. And there's the preface. Introduction is chapter 1. They have a list of cognate vocabulary like we just went over. Chapter 2 is like a history of the language. That's something you can read on your own. Who cares? Chapter 3 is the first chapter that deals with anything from the language, and immediately they have translations from the Bible. The first thing they offer you is translation of Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 11, which is the first lone standing Aramaic verse.
Okay.
So this book immediately gets you into translating the Bible, and this one waits 6 chapters. I don't understand what he was thinking. I don't know why.
I don't either. My first experience taking Hebrew, we did a ton of rules and morphology the whole semester, hardly any translation at all, and it was just the made-up stuff. And then Kutz and Josberger I like a lot better, but I did Futato for my second time around, but I wanted to quit the first time with just the infinite rules and morphology.
We used Seal. Now, one thing I like, this is Seal, you know this one?
I have it.
That's what I used I was a 19-year-old, my second year in college, learning Hebrew. Very early on, first of all, I like the translation exercises. I like how they did it. From chapter 4, lesson 4, they have four verse translation exercise from Hebrew to English, from the Proverbs or Psalms, excuse me. And every chapter after that, they give you like this. They say, read Genesis 1, verses 14 to 19 out loud and translate the passage with the help of a dictionary and the following notes. And in every lesson, he would say, read a section from the Bible and translate it to English.
Yeah.
It's invaluable. Like getting into the text of the Bible and translating, it's nothing like filling in a chart. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that frustrates me.
Yep.
But I will do what the book says. What is that? What do you got there?
This is, I wanted to see on the pronunciation. It's the website app. Yes, I just wanted to confirm the pronunciation. Sfaria?
Yeah, it's the name of a site, so it has its own pronunciation, but Safaria.
And is this transliterating Aramaic or Hebrew here?
The word Safaria?
Yes, because I wondered if it was determined on the end, if that A indicated the books or something, since there's a ton of primary sources at the site in Hebrew and English.
I think it's just something they made up. I think they made it up.
Okay, there you go.
It's based on the word Sifria. Sifria is a library.
Okay. Yes.
And I think they just flipped the root so that Sifria becomes Safaria, because Safar is normally the root for the plural, and Sifr is the root for the singular.
Okay. So this is so something like the library. Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right. Well, thanks for doing this today, Jason.
I hope that the recording came out. I just realized in my stupidity that I'm recording on my laptop, which is down under the desk. So I hope that my audio came through. My audio is going through my phone. So I think it did, but I'll test it and see what happened. Either way, I'll upload the output to the YouTube channel.
All right. Well, thanks again, and I'll plan to meet you here again next week this time, unless I hear otherwise. So.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right.
All right. We'll see you later.
Thanks so much. Shalom.
Bye-bye. Shlam.
Shalom. Yes, in Aramaic. Yes, shalom.